Okay, so today we're going to make the apple bird. It's a very simple, easy thing to make. What you need to get is one red delicious apple. The bigger the better, bright and red, so you have the contrast between the skin and the white part. You need cloves, whole cloves. That's what I use for my eyeballs. You're going to need a paring knife, a chef's knife, a toothpick, a small toothpick. And that's pretty much it. That's all we need to get started, and I'll show you how to do it right now. Okay, so you're going to take your apple, you're going to take the stem, twist it, take the stem out. That's going to be where the head of the bird is going to come out. You're going to turn your apple on its side, and you're going to cut the bottom part off. This bottom part is what's going to become the neck and the head of your bird. So we'll set that to the side for right now. It's really kind of simple. You want to divide the apple in half, and essentially all you're doing is cutting a series of V's. Start at the very top, put your knife on an angle. The knife has to be at an angle like this, right? And essentially you're cutting V's. So I'm just going to make one little tiny cut, and I'm going to come to the opposite side. I'm going to make another cut. Okay, so we had a little bit of an issue with our video. I'm not sure what happened, but I got the last 2 seconds. You can see now we have 2 beautiful birds that can be made pretty simply, and you can dazzle your guests or your employees with it. So now we're going to take a very ugly apple. I'm not sure how it looks on the inside, but it's kind of dented and kind of bruised. But we're going to take this piece of fruit that doesn't look all that beautiful and attempt to make that into an apple bird. And if you can take something that looks ugly and to make it something look beautiful, that can save your place a lot of money. First thing you're going to do, take the stem off like I showed in the last video. You're going to put it on the end. And I'm going to try to cut off this part that doesn't look so good. As you can see, not beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go on the very top. I'm going to make my V cut. Quick and easy. Okay. That's all right. If that happens to you, please do not distress, do not freak out. Everything's fine. Keep on going. What's it say? Keep calm and cook on. Keep calm and slice more apple. Okay, so that's going to be our tail. We'll go to the side. Make sure it doesn't go down my hat. And we'll cut the side. Before I go too far, let me put these back in place so I don't get them confused. Okay, now we'll spin the apple around. Actually, I'm going to put these back in place again so I don't get them confused. I'll spin the apple around. This guy's got a little dent on the side. We'll try to work with that. See if we can cover that up. All I'm doing is simply making V's. That's all I'm doing. Nice and easy. Cut through until you get behind the cut that's already there. Just enough to dislodge the one that you're cutting. This will be my last cut right here. Okay, so that's the back of my apple. So I'm going to get one last cut, get that free. There we go. All right, so we'll push that back. Set that in there. Now, the apple has natural sugars in it, and the sugars will help as a little bit of a glue binder that'll hold that in place. So that's one wing, and then we'll slide this one over here back. And all you're doing is just sliding the V that you cut out, just sliding it back a little bit for each one. This one doesn't want to let go, so I'm going to have to help it out a little bit. There we go. Just like that. And that one's kind of soft because this apple is not beautiful like me. All right, now we're going to take the top part and do the exact same thing. Just slide it back. Keep sliding back the pieces. And all we did was make little V's. Okay, so that's the wing. This is their tail, and this is their wing, and there's a wing. And again, it's not looking so good. So because this apple was kind of bruised a little bit, I purposely cut this part off because I didn't want to use that and have that stick out on the top. So I'll go right next to that part that's kind of brown, and I'll get rid of that part that's brown right there. And I'll use this as my base, and I'll cut this piece out of the way. I'll cut this sort of like a V, and that's going to be the beak of my bird, and the bird has to have eyes. So we'll put an eyeball on that side, and we'll put an eyeball on that side. We'll take a toothpick and we'll stick it through the bottom part, stick that right into where the stem came out. And sometimes I take my knife and I use my knife to help push it in a little bit. So now, relatively quickly, relatively easily, we have 3 nice little birdies that you can put on any fruit tray, any vegetable tray, any cheese tray, and quick and easy.
Okay, thank you very much for watching.
My video on the apple bird, and unfortunately I had a problem with the video and it cut out, so we had to do it again. I only had, because of the pandemic, 2 apples that I bought at the store. I had 1 that was left over, and the one that was left over was not the most beautiful apple. Brought up a good thing, brought a good thing to mind. There was a function I did some time ago where it was about a theater thing, and they wanted some kind of centerpiece, some kind of display. So I looked at my cooler, my walk-in cooler, and I had a beat up watermelon, and I decided to use that watermelon as my display. And what ended up happening was it had bumps and bruises and imperfections. So when I made this, where the faces are, I simply cut out the parts that were not so good. Where this circle is right here for the note, that was a big spot that was not good. I ended up taking a piece of fruit that was not really on its way out, just kind of not handled nicely, not in great shape, and turn it into a very functional centerpiece. And you can see the grapes from the back. You can kind of see the jagged edge. I was able to scoop out all the inside and use it on the Sunday brunch. And then this side right here was just simply for display. So something to keep in mind: if you have the opportunity, you can utilize fruits that are not in the best shape and kind of hide them. So you don't want somebody to eat it, but you can still use it as a display, especially if you can be creative about how you do about it. Okay, thank you very much.